Okay. I have a story for you, cunts.
Okay.
You beautiful, saucy baby boys.
Do not call me that.
Beautiful, saucy baby boys.
I'm not
That is
beautiful at all.
That's
Saucy
that's not
baby
happening?
boys is where I'm like,
Beautiful, saucy baby boys. See, it's like, okay, what damages you with that one? What part of that?
You don't think that's
damages you?
creepy at all?
Is it not okay? Is it that it's not an alliteration?
Sure, let's say that.
Because it's close to being an alliteration.
That's my damage.
That's your damage. That makes sense. I respect that.
What's your story?
What's your
Anyways, my story. Okay, so I live in an apartment building. You've seen it. I've seen it. It's a relatively new building. I was able to get into it relatively early on, like before it was finished being constructed, and so
Really?
yeah, it's like I moved into it the year that it opened, basically. So I've been here the same time that this apartment building has been here. And one of the major features of this building is that rooms, all your rooms have these giant ass windows. I'm talking like 9 feet up, like 4 feet across. So it's like a 9x4 window. It's a big
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
window. And that's that's just a big old window right into your bedroom. So I'm like, but the nice thing is they have these really big like shades that cover the entirety of the window, so it's all good. And so I am on my way back from getting dinner. It is night. I'm hanging out. And then going back to my building, I'm across the street. And out of the corner of my eye, I see movement. And I look up, and there is one of the tenants of my apartment building is just standing there right in front of her window, just buck-ass naked.
Oh.
Now,
Through this big window?
Now, this wouldn't be a problem if the shades weren't down. But they were, and I could still see her.
Oh no.
What did you do? You just walk away?
I kind of went, oh no. That's not good.
Yeah.
And to be clear, these like it's like I could see the expression on her face
Oh my god.
of the pure apathy of her. She was just chilling, just doing whatever, you know.
Very much
Okay.
like I don't give a fuck energy. Yeah.
And then I had a thought, and I looked at my own window.
Ben, what's in your window?
Well, there's a shade there.
Yeah.
Alright.
The funny thing is, I can kind of see through the shade.
Yeah.
Oh.
I might have been able to have seen through that shade all the time. But anyone on the ground floor would be able to see through that shade and see right into my room.
Yeah? What's in your room?
Anyone.
Ben?
Yeah, what
What?
is
At any given time.
Oh,
During the
shit.
2.5 years that
Oh
I've
no.
that I've been
So
here.
it's one of those like, oh, it's always been that way, and I'm just stuck.
Anytime.
Oh,
You know,
because they see all that illegal activity.
multiple, you know, there may have been people visiting
Yes.
this room
For your black
for various
I like how the big
reasons.
consequence of your story
at night.
The big consequence of your story was not that your tenant was just naked. And you could see her.
No.
It was that no, you can see through your own window.
I just learned that for the past 2.5 years at night, any
is so
motherfucker
fucked.
on ground level is able to look directly into my room, and I know for a fact that they have seen shit.
Dan, I don't mean.
You
Dan,
leave
I
a
don't
note
mean
on your
to.
on their door. It just says, "I know you know."
Yeah.
Dan,
So
Dan, I don't mean to. I don't think this is supposed to be personal. I don't know if we can visit you now.
Well. So here's the thing. Now, hang on a minute. I'm going to fiddle around for a little bit and talk to make it seem as if what I'm doing is really deserving of the amount of time that this should take, and I totally should have planned this ahead of time. Now, my window looks like this.
What do we got?
Because I stapled a fucking bedsheet.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
Yeah, anyone would definitely be able to see through that first one.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
That's
I
not
know,
designed.
right?
That's not a curtain at all.
That's like
I know, right? I thought
yeah.
like from, because the thing is that it works during the day, because
Right.
the other side of it is like white, so it reflects light off of it. But when there's no light to reflect
Yeah.
any light from the inside,
Like, what the fuck was supposed to light it? Like the moon? Like, I don't...
it's the fucking, it's like
harvest moon.
So, yeah.
that's fucked.
That's a nice
Yeah.
discovery.
And I've notified the landlord. I've notified basically everyone I fucking can. I am by the way, like I notified them on I think it was Friday. If I don't get a response in the next couple of days, I'm just gonna start printing out signs and just like pasting them on the elevator doors, just going like it's gonna be a sign. I'm gonna have someone take a picture of me through the window and go, yeah, you gotta check that shit. Because apparently
Jesus.
it's like because the people I talked to were like, yeah, some of them work and some of them don't.
What do you mean?
That's a pretty matter-of-fact, like, throwing your
Some
hands
of
up
them-
in the air type shit.
Yeah, like you'd think they'd all be the same material, or at least
No,
a
they
variant of
apparently
the same.
when they were building this this building, there was they just kind of guessed.
There was no
They just guessed.
consistency?
Dan, you
Yeah.
should turn this into a power play. You see, you should take the second layer down, just pose in front of it naked whenever, and be like, yeah, you don't want to see this shit all the time. Fucking fix it.
You have to
Oh no!
establish
See,
yourself.
here's what I'm thinking. All right, if they don't offer like replacements or whatever, because it seems very clear that they actually know about this problem, they're just not telling people, even though they say they do. So here's my solution. Here's my brand new solution. I'm gonna make money off of this.
Oh.
I am going to buy really, really cheap blankets, then sell them plus tiny staplers to the tenants of this building for, I don't know, let's say a 25% markup?
25%.
I mean, I don't know
So I
if
can
that's
make-
good or bad. I don't know the
So I can make
Context
like if it's like what like how much does a blanket cost? Like
fucking know.
like
like
$40.
$40 for a
Yeah.
good blanket. So I would
That's how
sell
much
it
they
for
cost
like
in my university.
this plus this cheap ass stapler for $50.
sure.
I make cash. I can
There
make
you
bank
go.
off of
Could
this.
make if they went for it, yeah.
You become a
Or I
savior.
could just staple it
Or you could just-
myself
yeah.
and go for an installation service. I can make bank.
I'm proud
That'd
of
actually
you,
be
man.
interesting.
So yeah.
Really getting
there we go.
yourself out there. And speaking of like getting yourself out there, I had a funny experience trying to get the podcast on iTunes.
Oh, tell me this story.
I was trying to. It's nothing special. It's just very strange. I had problems with my Apple ID trying to get the RSS feed link. So I thought it was actually just a very roundabout way of things. I just had to approve a couple of pages, but I thought it was, oh, I haven't purchased anything on this specific Apple ID. It must want me to purchase something first. So I was like, what's the first song that's going to come into my head? I'll buy it.
No.
The first song I purchased was the fucking Creeper Aw Man, that Captain Sparkle song. I just own it now.
What?
And I didn't need it at all. I didn't need that shit at all.
I actually, now that I think about it though, I do definitely that would also be very close to my first purchases on iTunes back in the day.
Yeah.
Which were they were
Diggy Diggy Hole.
They were Minecraft songs.
I mean, the first song I bought on like the iTunes store was Brennel Floss.
Oh,
Yeah.
nerd.
2012.
When I was like 14.
I guess we can...
Speaking of the podcast,
Cedric, the first stuff you bought
welcome
was
to
like...
it.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Welcome to the Nonplussed Nightly cast.
Welcome to Nonplussed Nightly. The Nonplussed Nightly.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Cedric, do you remember those like Beyblade videos with like the metal in the background or whatever?
Yeah, that was my introduction to metal.
Yeah.
They were like Beyblade
That's not even a
AMVs.
fucking joke. Yeah, they were
That
like
had,
Beyblade
like, these
AMVs,
metal
and I was like,
things in
that
the
music's
background.
really sick. And those were my first purchases.
I know our older sister like deleted them off because they're like, you can't listen to
I
this
mean, they're on the
at all.
cloud, so you can just keep them.
I know they're on the
fine.
cloud, but
Just
I find it
re-download
very
them.
interesting.
You have to purchase them a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. You know what happened to Beyblade?
What happened?
I think it was like the metal. It was actually causing
Yeah.
harm to children. So when they made the sequel
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck,
it's
really?
like
they had to make
because
them
because
plastic.
kids are fucking stupid, and so they would take like because they had the like Beyblade like the metal rings around them.
Yeah.
And so they just shoot them at each other.
Let it rip.
Yeah, they saw that Moses split the ocean with a Beyblade, and they tried to do it to their friends.
So I'm gonna split Tommy
God.
in half.
Yeah.
Rip
Like
man.
Moses, I
Local
will
kid
split
gets torn
you
in two
in
by
half.
Beyblade.
Oh man.
Oh,
Fucking
fuck.
Beyblade lore is astonishing.
No,
I love that
like
shit so much.
I love it
Isn't
when
it-
like anime
Okay.
with like that has to like advertise like a card game or like a toy. Like it begins where it's like just kids playing with them, and then like season 5 is like actually they used the toy in like key moments in human history or something.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
ancient history. It's like, okay, so you know how like
Fucking
because
Caesar
like
was
all kids
assassinated by
shows
Beyblade.
all kids shows are made to sell toys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like some shows are really obvious about it. Like there was one Japanese kids show from like the 70s. It was one of the original like tokusatsu style shows where it had this Power Ranger character, except he would beat up his enemies with like fucking yo-yos.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
kind
It
of
was
cute.
just it was like
I don't know.
it was just a yo-yo. But then as we've moved forward and actual writers have come on these shows, we've gotten shit like Kamen Rider Gaim.
That
where-
shit is so fucking
Warfare.
good.
where it's like when I'm watching the show, I like the last thing I'm thinking about is buying the toy
Right.
until I stop watching the show
Yeah.
and go, I should totally get this Kamen Rider belt.
Ben, did you finish Gaim?
No,
Fuck, it's so good.
I know. I want to finish it.
It's like
I
a
just, I
fucking,
actually,
like Game
I
of
actually
Thrones
just
level.
started fours.
Oh, really?
Julius Caesar was actually
Yeah.
assassinated by Kamen Rider. They put on their
I know,
belts instead.
And they've been and like in because something happened in fours when I was watching it where like there's this sort of internet geek character, and
the fuck?
she's just like she's actually more of a goth chick, but she also I don't know, she's a shut in, so of course she uses the internet.
Yeah.
Fun fact:
Kikamori trope.
Kamen Rider 4s is written by the same guy who wrote Promare, but it's weirdly
Oh, fuck, really?
better written. Yeah, I don't know. It's weirdly better.
Maybe it's
written.
because it's an entire TV show. and
Yeah,
not a
they have an
movie.
entire
that
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I love Promare,
oh, it's great. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a platinum game in a movie. but
essentially. I saw
Yeah,
it 3
but
times
it's-
in the theaters.
the writing included.
Oh, you know, speaking of like that crazy.
Hold up.
Okay.
I was gonna say because like in fours they had this character like they have the new Kamen Rider, and then this one internet character is just like, "Oh, that's a Kamen Rider," and everyone in the room is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she pulls up a YouTube video that has like the entire history of Kamen Rider,
God.
and it's all of these Kamen Riders doing fights. And that means that every single crossover
Holy
Kamen
shit.
Rider event was 100% canon, which also means that every single year in this alternate universe reality, there is some completely unrelated apocalyptic event that is going to destroy the world in 1 year
Holy shit.
unless the Kamen Rider does something.
That is some Yoko Taro shit.
Fucking even the
it's-
non-canon
it's
stuff is now
horrifying.
connected.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we beat the space guys. Fuck, here come those fruit motherfuckers.
Yeah, that actually makes
Shit.
that makes like how crazy Gain gets really fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I thought you were
because
gonna
it's just
say
like,
she pulls up
how
like
many
all the Kamen
how
Rider
many
openings or
alien
something.
forces are also in the universe that no one knows about?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love
I
it.
thought you were
There's
going to
also-
say like she pulls up all the Kamen Rider openings and you just watch all of them in a row. Or
And that's the
some
entire episode.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
shit. Speaking of
That'd
the
be great.
Kamen Rider opening.
No,
I
Andrew,
like
I was
how-
gonna talk about the you were talking about the crazy like stuff in kid shows. I remember I was really into
yeah.
the Card Fight Vanguard.
Christ,
I didn't finish
yeah.
the first
Oh!
season. It was actually pretty cool. Pretty good show.
I remember getting ads for that, but it
too.
didn't look that interesting.
It wasn't
to
bad.
me.
And in the first season, I never finished the first season. I got damn close though.
First season is
I should-
fucking long as well.
Yeah, it's really long. The evil power is not like gonna destroy the world, but it's just this crazy psychological effect that it takes on the that it takes on the people who play the game. Psyqualia. It's called Psyqualia.
Psyqualia.
Yeah.
Because it's
And then, like,
psychological
apparently,
power.
I went to the Nightmare Fuel TV tropes page for Vanguard because I didn't care about spoilers. And apparently, it was like one of the characters gets like burned by an evil god as so brutal. At, like the time that one fucking Yu-Gi-Oh monster, the Winged Dragon of Ra, gets sicked on Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, fuck, really?
Jesus.
So they just start killing people with their cards.
Killing
Yes.
kids.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Not literally and metaphorically killing kids.
Yes.
Jesus, that's fucked.
Card
This main
Fight
character
Vanguard was the
design looks
best.
dumb as hell.
It's so bad. A lot of the design.
Oh, I remember. I what did I call Aichi?
Look at this red
Everyone
hair.
could,
Like,
like-
there's this guy with red hair who has a spiral on his forehead.
Yeah.
Ren, probably.
I don't know.
There was
Here.
also in Vanguard.
It's in chat.
Interestingly enough, it was it's so fucking bad. Interestingly
so
enough,
gross.
with Vanguard, it was pretty
Blech.
popular, and it aired in 2013.
Yes.
It was rebooted last year.
Bakugan
I see
was
something.
also
I see
rebooted
something
last
for
year.
Card Fight
weird.
Vanguard Zero coming in spring 2020.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What is
Yeah.
with this show? I don't know, but apparently
I know
it was-
Bakugan also got a new season last year. It got rebooted.
I like the monster designs. They're kind of cool.
Oh, I love the monster designs. So good. But I just thought it was
monster
super
designs are
weird
great,
that this
actually.
show was super popular 6 years ago. And I don't know what the fuck happened to it that caused them to do a full reboot in 2019. Like,
It reminds
the
me of
fuck?
when they, like-
I watched the first episode. It's the same story. They just
Really?
made it
Oh.
longer. Like,
What's the point?
Great.
they just reanimated it and it looks a little worse because the industry's worse. Fuck,
Is
I
it
don't know.
is
a
it
whole
is
other
it popular in the West or is it popular in Japan?
Yeah, I mean it's popular in
likes
the
it,
UK. I know that.
I know the UK likes
Is
it.
it?
Or they
Yeah,
liked it.
Bushy Red
and that's
posted
it.
made like an entire thing where they were like, you can.
Fucking
And I only know
weird
because I got ads for it
Brits.
once at like 3 in the morning on television. Surprisingly,
Fucking.
It's not bad.
British people are
like,
so weird.
It's not bad. Well, the first series wasn't bad. I don't know about the sequels, but yeah.
I don't know. It could look.
I know
remember it was actually
the second
pretty hype.
opening of
It, like-
Vanguard is the best shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh really?
It-
You
it's this
sent
weird
that to me
like
a
Final
long time
Fantasy.
ago,
like-
and I was just like, I don't want to watch this weeby shit.
Probably. We should get to
Yeah.
the fucking news. Is what we should do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just gonna
eh,
say I like
it's-
how it's the second opening of Vanguard sounds like some Final Fantasy final boss shit where they're like
really.
like that
Fucking-
weird
it's the-
You mean-
it's
you mean
our
a choir?
yeah choir.
Yeah, a
like
choir.
it's-
Angie,
just a
were you
card
gonna say
game.
something else before we get to the
I don't.
news?
It doesn't matter if I can't remember it.
Fair.
That's fair. Okay. Well,
Okay.
this is something you can talk about.
Hey, these are two names I don't know.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, directors of Spider-Verse and Lego Movie 1, 21 and 22 Jump Street as well.
And also Solo, a Star Wars story.
No, they were fired from that.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah.
Did you
That
not
explains
know
why that movie is occasionally entertaining.
Anyhow.
You feel like the creative scraps of that.
Wait! This is the one that looks like the Boomer movie!
Yeah, the people, the boomer. So Phil Lord
Yeah.
and Chris Miller, their new animated movie, was revealed recently. There are no trailers yet at the recording of this.
Yeah. What's it called? I've actually not seen it.
It's called Connected.
This
You
looks
might have
like
seen
this. Okay,
image, around Twitter. I'll send you it.
that opening image is utterly worrying for the tone of the film.
I have faith. I don't think it'll be a boomer.
I
Did
fucking don't. Having faith in the industry is
you
what
have
gets
faith
you
in the Lego
BioWare.
movie, Ben?
No, and then I was really happy when it was good. Just
There you
the same
go.
with Spider-Verse.
I think
Maybe
I
we're
have
noticing a
faith
trend
just
here.
through-
How they
yeah,
take very
trends.
mundane ideas and then are like, eh.
Not mundane ideas that are doomed to fail.
Well, with something like Spider-Verse, I saw the trailer, so I was like, it's probably fine. And then I watched it.
Yeah, I was like,
we
I
watched
had no
it
interest
together
in
after that
Spider-Verse when you
fucking
first told
DC
me about it.
marathon.
Now it's like my favorite movie. I've seen it like 8 times.
Look, I mean, okay, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller appear to like just having like a glance at their
Filmography,
fucking
yeah.
filmography. That's a word.
Yeah.
Film major, ladies and gentlemen.
They've made nothing but slam dunks, so respect for that. But
Yes.
for realsies, looking at that picture like that's supposed to sell Connected, I don't know, man.
Let's wait for the
It
trailers
looks-
to drop and be utterly unremarkable and be surprised when it's good.
Yeah,
Like the Lego movie.
They need to get better editing teams.
And Spider-Verse.
For they specifically for
Sony.
for films, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I remember even like the Spider-Verse trailers. It looked like
I was like,
pseudo stylish, but it was not showing off the heights of that film.
Yeah, I was like,
I was stunned.
it's probably okay. I was telling you, Andrew, because 2018
They're
was
doing
a not great year for like popular
What
property
year was
movies.
that?
They're doing an adaptation of Artemis. What the fuck?
Artemis,
What with
like the legend?
Artemis is the name. Artemis is not Artemis Fowl. It's Artemis
Yeah,
is the name of the new Andy Weir book. He's the guy who wrote The Martian.
Oh, I
Yeah.
need to read that.
I think I remember seeing what it was about. It was like about a
Oh, I thought you were talking
a
about like the
heist
goddess
on
of the
the
hunt.
moon or something.
But yeah, an adaptation of her. But I don't know. I have
But-
faith personally.
It'll probably be good. Honestly.
hope so.
Like,
I'm-
Well,
we'll
it's
just
coming
wait
out
for
this
more.
year, so maybe. I don't know though. Like, okay,
yeah, like
Man,
even
like-
like the name Spider-Verse kind of put me off at the start. like,
yeah.
like
But
I'm
it's
like,
like
okay.
I see that picture of like the tired boomer
Yeah.
and then the people looking vapidly at their phones, and I'm like, the only way in which that is not immediately a boomer joke is like a fucking boomer political comic. Read me a story, Papa. Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Like Jack and Jill
like-
went up the hill to get a pail of water.
Yeah.
I'm actually
that's-
looking.
I was
I'm
quoting
looking
that one,
closely at
Andrew.
this
Thank you.
picture.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking closely at this picture. Does the dad like have a screen in front of him, like projected,
No.
or is that the?
no,
like,
no,
the
he has
thing
tiny
behind him?
legs.
Oh fuck!
That's what he has.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. What were you gonna say, Ben?
But what I'm saying is that I think I think that having that as your primary selling image is like, I don't know, unless the context for that is that's just how he views the these people on their phones and not like how it actually is for them. And then it's
Right,
like maybe
probably.
boomers need to shut the fuck up and enjoy technology. Then I don't know.
It'll probably be some mix of like Strawman has a point.
I mean, just looking at the character designs
Yeah.
in general, they look different than the majority of 3D.
Oh yeah, they
like-
look great.
Yeah.
They look pretty
Yeah,
damn good. I even like the dog, and I hate dogs.
I like.
Yeah,
I
this dog
actually.
died, like Pug.
if I know this, the version that I have of this is low res, but the picture that I think really should have been used to sell this film instead of the one we're talking about is this.
Is it
That
the one I'm
looks
thinking of? Yeah.
Fascinating.
The
That's
one with
fucking.
that like
that'll
Aurora
be
Borealis
good. What the
stuff
hell?
in the sky.
That has an incredible visual composition. It's like the way that it's split into two halves, the way that one half is like really like cool and serene and beautiful, and the other half is like kind of dark and fucked up. That is fantastic. They totally should have like had that be their only like selling image, or
Maybe.
selling GIF, I guess.
Maybe
we'll have to
like-
wait for the trailer to drop.
Again, it'll be unremarkable and the movie will be good. But maybe
Yeah.
these family members are so entranced because they're happy watching the movie Connected 2020.
Although I do think that it is cute that
They're
the
watching
mom is
their own
using
movie.
only her index finger to use the.
She also has like
Yeah.
the iPad as well. That's another trope.
good deets, good deets. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, to be perfectly honest. But
Well, after
at
Wait,
this
when I see
point,
the trailer,
I have full faith, even if I'm going to be put off at the start.
I will still watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, I will
I
watch
think
the hell
that's-
out of this.
Okay, well that depends on whether or not it's good.
Yeah, I mean the character designs, regardless, I think will be fun to see them move around.
Oh, aren't you sure that you want to see Onward?
When is it? That comes out in like a week, right?
Does
Oh,
it?
Really?
I want to say.
Oh, are you serious?
it snuck up
don't
on me.
really
Let me
care
see.
about it.
Oh, it does. It comes out.
Oh.
I think maybe in like 2.
Andrew, do you want to
weeks,
see
but,
it
like-
when you're home for spring break?
Onward. Let me see. Fuck, maybe.
I thought it was
It's
a
got an
mid-March
it's got an
movie.
8.1 out of 10
Oh
on
shit!
IMDb
It is
already.
out next week, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
a week and a half.
Two
or so.
weeks. It's
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I guess so.
You'll have to tell me if it's good or not.
It'll probably be 5 out of 10.
I think having Tom Holland and Chris Pratt do voice acting roles is a good idea.
Yeah. There's
They're
that
hot
one like clip
commodities
that's
right
been
now.
They
beaten
seem
to
like a
death
good
by
duo.
the YouTube like advertising thing I get at the beginning of every video. Since I watch reviews on animated films, I usually like I'll listen to like a chill like review of like an old movie to fall asleep, and then I'll get an ad of Chris Pratt going, "The can is huge," and it'll fucking wake me up. This shit's happened for like 2 weeks now. So I'm like,
Are you telling me you're going to have, like-
Is this your new Madagascar 3 polka dot polka dot polka dot polka dot?
probably yeah.
Oh god, that shit was so long ago, and I hear it clearly in my mind.
Yeah. Because that recently resurfaced where someone posted on Twitter like the GIF, and it's just like, okay, be real. If you have your audio off, can you hear this GIF? And it's like,
Yes,
oh,
they advertised the hell out
Da,
of
da,
that movie.
da, 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 da.
fuck!
You YouTuber.
What's next on the list? Sonic?
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about. No, I
Andrew,
didn't
did you
watch
just want to see
Sonic.
Sonic instead?
Dude, I went to see the Sonic film recently, and I couldn't believe what he said about all the races and women.
Oh,
And then the
races.
last line of the film, Sonic said, "Here's my opinion on minorities."
Yeah,
And it cuts off.
I can't believe that Sonic held up a trans rights flag and then summarily threw it off a bridge.
Sonic.
There would actually be
for really
riots in the
just no
streets if
reason.
That shit happened.
What was that one tweet where it's like, man, I really enjoyed Sonic, but the one part where he's in the car and turns towards the camera and said a woman's place is in the home. It was really jarring.
I love the meme where it's like the adorable character doing just a bunch of awful shit.
That's alright.
I think it's pretty good if it's pitched.
I think
right.
there was.
If it's pitched.
I heard.
right,
I
yeah.
heard there was like someone talking about like how they took their kids to see Sonic, fell asleep, and then woke up to find their kids gone, and then while searching for them, found them in the Birds of Prey theater, and they were so proud of their children.
Is that
Did that actually
is that
happen?
real?
No, of course it didn't happen. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of like children actively seeking out Birds of Prey. Is that movie any good?
I don't.
No,
know. I don't know.
no.
I don't fucking
No.
know.
No.
General
I've had no
consensus
time
I've
to go
heard is
watch
that it's
movies,
fine. Like
I've heard it's fine, like, which I guess for a DC film is enough,
Yeah.
but from what I've seen, it looks like the very average surface level edgy humor kind of thing.
Hot
that
topic, like.
it's that kind of humor that Deadpool will occasionally fall into. And
But like what?
you-
Like the whole movie is that?
Yeah.
From the
where
trailers,
it's like
it looks
that,
like-
but like slightly worse.
This might be mean of me to say, but I think it looks like a worse version of that animated Harley Quinn show, and I love that show.
Yeah, you keep saying we need to watch that show, and I'm
Is it
interested
out?
in it.
I thought there was just a trailer.
But the season
Yeah,
ended
no,
like
there's-
a few
there's
days ago,
stuff for
I
it.
want to say.
And it's like, yeah, the problem with Harley Quinn as like a character is she was originally developed as a side character. They gave her development to basically have been essentially in an abusive relationship with the Joker, but they've stopped at a point where basically her character really has only two paths for growth with no variation, because she either like chucks Joker to the wayside and becomes 100% independent, or continues to go back to a toxic relationship and has no growth.
It's really unfortunate how it's developed because Harley Quinn, I think, is one of the more interesting DC characters.
She's very aesthetically interesting, and I don't mean in tits. I mean, like, in terms of the majority of her costume designs have been relatively entertaining.
Right, but I like the idea of like, there's like the scraps of what was there in Suicide Squad. If there was a whole movie and good, you know,
I think if it was good-
potential for
Apparently there
funny.
was, according
Oh
to
yeah,
Jared
there was
Leto.
like 5 minutes left of it. Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk about, like before I
And
actually
God
get to what I
help
wanted
whoever
to talk about,
disrespects the Queen.
before I get to what I wanted to talk about, I wanted to mention how it's these weird fucking people on like YouTube and Twitter are like pitting Birds of Prey and Sonic against each other as like rivals.
I think it's really funny.
It's
Like-
funny as
Yeah,
hell,
that's-
but it's
that's
also like,
weird, man.
why these two movies?
Like Sonic
What
the
is-
Hedgehog,
yeah, what
the
is
movie,
the
is the
act-
hill I'm
it's like-
going to die on.
Where's the connecting thread between
Sonic
the
the
two?
Hedgehog is gonna fuck up them feminists.
And
Yeah,
then the other
there
one
was
is
that YouTube
just
thumbnail.
like Birds of
Yeah.
Prey is like so great. It's like it's
Yeah. What movies are out right now? Hold on.
Sonic the Hedgehog and Birds of Prey.
No, shut up. I need to
The
see.
My Hero Academia movie will be in my theater this.
This
week.
current
Is there anything that's being like
films?
critically acclaimed right now?
I mean, Parasite is still in theaters, and you haven't seen that yet.
Let's see.
Is that fucking Doolittle
Sonic,
movie?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, is Sonic the Oh, wait a minute. Sonic the Hedgehog getting review bombed?
I thought you were
mean,
gonna say
what a
Sonic the Hedgehog
surprise.
2, and I was like, what the fuck?
Wait a minute. Yeah, you like. Oh, critic
so.
scores are weirdly low. User scores are weirdly high. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sonic. The fan base is gonna.
Yeah,
do
what
Most
do-
people
what do you
seem
expect?
most people I trust seem to like it. Okay, we have Call of the Wild, which seems to be an average movie.
Did you see that motion tracking with the?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Fantasy Island, which seems to be a terrible movie.
What the hell is Fantasy Island?
The Boy 2.
What? Is that a God of War
hell?
movie?
I'll let you think on that one.
That's a good one. That was a good one, Andrew.
There you go, Andrew. You did it. 1917 is still in theaters, and that film is apparently
I might check that.
Yeah, I heard that was good. I don't think I'll see it.
I've heard
though.
it was fine. Like,
Yeah.
I might have just been spoiled by.
Bad Boys for
that
Life.
Nolan
That
movie.
apparently is like quite good. For what it's worth.
Hey, that's
Bad
no mind,
Boys.
listeners. We're just trying to find some good shit.
Oh wait, is the Invisible Man? That's coming out soon.
That's right.
That's
The Invisible Man, is that the Dark Universe
that.
thing?
No,
No.
but they've actually been trying to keep it away from the Dark Universe, because originally the Invisible Man was going to be Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Which really freaked me out, because they've got like Oliver, I think Oliver Jackson Cohen playing as the Invisible Man or something. But basically, the thing that freaked me out was because the first thing I'd heard of the Invisible Man movie was that Johnny Depp was going to be that actor. And then this trailer comes out, and the whole story is about how the Invisible Man is an abusive ex-boyfriend who fakes his
didn't
death
see
to
that.
become invisible and like stalk and fuck up his wife. And
it's too real. So
but then it's just
they
like,
change it?
but then Johnny Depp was the one who was abused by Amber Heard. So then
Yeah.
it goes down this creepy road of like, wait a minute. But that was just in my head for a few moments.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Barely worth bringing up, but fucking still, I don't know.
Ben, will your theater have the My Hero Academia movie this week?
Probably. I'm not gonna go see it because I would have to deal with Toronto weebs, and I'm not
that's
doing
right.
that.
But I mean,
I like how you characterized
I
your
waited until
characterized your
Promare
weebs
came out
until,
for.
You've characterized your weebs as like a bad brand of them.
Okay, let me put it this way:
Yeah.
they're weebs who live in a city. There's only one way that can go.
I mean, my city's weebs are pretty chill.
Yours is you live in a city that counts as a city for Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck you.
Anywho, what I wanted to talk about briefly was since the Sonic movie, unexpectedly, in my opinion, opened at number 1. What do you think this will mean for like video game adaptations in the future? Do you think that'll be a hot new trend?
Well,
Maybe they'll think about putting in more work into them.
I think the Sonic movie is just so weird. It feels more like just a standout event. It doesn't feel like the start of any sort of trend, just because it was so individual in how it developed.
But I mean,
Well,
we're also
people
getting
have
that
talked-
Mario movie as well.
People have talked very heavily about why video game movies have a lot of troubles, and the major problem is because video games are long-form storytelling. Events
so are
and
comics,
films are
but-
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
By
what's a
comparison, at least.
90-minute game like now coming out?
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Like, I can think of some games that could be told decently as films. Plague Tale: Innocence comes to mind.
I think of like even the original Resident Evil, but that was fucked up beyond belief.
Oh, the film?
Well, they did make it into a film.
Yeah, that's what I
watched
mean.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
watched
the
it?
Uwe Boll one.
Oh, I've watched all of the Resident Evil movies, and we are going to watch them together at some point.
Like a marathon? Sure, we can do that.
Absolutely. It is awful. It is actually just some of the worst
sounds like
filmmaking
pain.
you'll ever see. It is entirely pain. The only good thing about those films is the one Marilyn Manson song that he made for the first film.
Fuck.
And it's actually really cool. It's a good Marilyn Manson song.
interesting.
But anyways,
All right.
yeah.
But anyway, so you don't think this will be the start of like a trend that people
Hell no.
do this like follow the leader thing
mean,
that they do for
Well,
like
I could see it.
I really.
Remember though that I was also like I was very cynical
Yeah.
on like the side of like I do agree with you now, Andrew, more than ever that especially after hearing how the whole work schedule thing got fucked up for everyone. I do agree that like yeah, of course they didn't they weren't planning for that whole marketing debacle.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine that like entire marketing teams aren't thinking about like, oh, maybe we should try that.
Well,
'Cause
it's just
definitely-
it's going to be another black hole, just like the babyfication of all of the mascots. Like
Or like-
Sonic.
'cause-
The reason that's happened for Sonic and the reason it worked is because Sonic's just this infamous fucking meme now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
Corporate,
these super
like,
fans that
and
are
then-
going to be just super mad about whatever's slightly wrong with it. And then there's this weird, almost fetishistic reaction to something being done right, where it's like, no, we owe Warner Brothers our fucking money. And it's like, no,
Yeah, people
they
people
also
are literally
fucking
like
yeah, they'll be
there
like,
were- there were
we
people who
owe
were
them
like-
our money.
That's right,
And it's like,
yeah.
no, they
How
fucking
much,
shut
like,
down the
criticism
studio.
do you have?
They
Yeah.
fucking browbeat the animators to fix it, and then the studio shut down before Christmas. Like, what the fuck is that?
and then they were like, oh, we owe we owe the money to the animators to the film. It's like the money's not going to them. They were
Yeah.
already paid,
Yeah.
fucker.
They've already been laid off. Like,
Yeah, they've already been paid,
You
then
don't owe
summarily
Warner
laid
Brothers
off.
jack shit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like it's so all I see is that like
I have a cynical
I
opinion
see
on the
that
Sonic
becoming
movie.
maybe a new
So-
trend. Watch for new bad trailers, because companies dropping bad trailers is becoming a regular thing. Like the
Yeah.
time that the Mummy Tom
Yeah,
Cruise
I was
trailer
thinking
was
the same
released with
thing.
only vocals.
Then Men
They
in
tried to
Black
replicate
International.
that. They
Yeah.
tried to replicate that with that Men in Black movie, and it failed.
Yeah,
spectacularly.
Yeah, like they've been doing that a lot. Although there's still times in which they make mistakes. In which there was some Bollywood romance film that instead of uploading the trailer for the film, someone uploaded the entire movie.
Oh my god, really?
I mean, that's just funny. Like
that's fucking hysterical. It's
That's
like
actually
he
great.
probably looked at it and was like, "Oh, a minute 47 minutes or a minute 47 seconds long. That must be the trailer."
The movie, yeah.
Oh no, that was an hour and 47 minutes long.
I like to imagine it was categorized like first trailer and final cut were like right next to each other.
I mean, it's
Oh,
probably
that
he probably
makes
saved it
sense.
under like or something like a lot of people end up doing.
Yeah.
The one thing about
yeah,
like I thought about like what could be the weirdest like because they're making that Mario movie, and I'm thinking like
Oh fuck, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I thought
Allegedly, I
last
haven't
night,
heard anything
for
about
some
it in,
reason
like,
I was like if
almost
that
2
takes
years.
off and becomes like a bona fide like oh Mario and Sonic worked, I was like oh you
Wait a minute,
nerd.
wait a minute. Actually, no. I could see that working.
Yeah, well it depends. The Illumination
No,
people are doing it so.
Because Mario and Sonic and like the Legend of Zelda and like all of the like most of these Nintendo games are franchises.
Yeah.
They're not specific games. So what instead of what people should be doing instead of like doing the just taking specific games and adapting those specific games to film, what they should instead be doing is just taking franchises and making new stories using those characters.
Yeah, like The Witcher does that with the TV show where they're adapting it and then the games are separate.
Well,
stories later.
actually, the Witcher's doing exactly the opposite of what I'm talking about. They're adapting
Oh, that's
books.
not. Yeah, that's right. That's not new. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I fucked that up.
But it's like with games, because games are so long form, you could theoretically just, especially but with something like Sonic or The Legend of Zelda, because there is no timeline, there was no canon series of events unless you get into like the Sonic Adventure series, in which case shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They'll make Sonic Adventure 3 a movie.
Yeah, but it's just like if all that you really have to do is have a checklist of characters, like the ways that they're supposed to look, but otherwise it's just like, yeah, Eggman just kind of has to be a dick. Sonic has to be kind of like a nicer dick. Knuckles has to be dumb, and Tails has to be
Not as dumb.
smart,
Boy genius.
dumb.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yeah, then you could just do whatever the fuck you want. You could just do whatever.
But I was more like referring to like if it gets out of control and like a studio shambles together like a Pac-Man movie or some stupid shit.
Again, the thing is if they do a Pac-Man movie, it wouldn't be impossible to do right, because and you could do it like it doesn't have to be solely based around the Pac-Man arcade game. You don't have to limit yourself to that. There are so many things where it's like, it's the Pac-Man platformer. Like
there are 3 Pac-Man
anything.
World games, and Pac-Man
there.
acts so differently in all 3 of them. He has a voice actor in the 3rd one. Like,
That's right.
Sure, yeah. Like as long as it's a franchise that has like a loosely defined set of rules, I can imagine it would work. I don't think
we've already had Angry Birds,
Oh fuck, you're right.
which is such like a nebulously defined.
yeah, like they
thing.
could have made that good. They didn't, but they could have.
I do kind of
like-
appreciate now, years after having watched it, like the ideas they had. I don't like the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the second one either. I forgot that one existed.
Yeah.
But
To be fair,
I commend the attempt at these nebulously
Sure.
defined concepts in 90 minutes.
to also be fair, I'm not saying that adapting video game stories from specific video games to film can always go badly, because the Castlevania animation exists.
Right.
But that's not film, that's TV.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I still think it counts.
it's
in
like
the way
adapting
that,
a long-term piece of media
Yeah.
for another.
But the thing
form.
is that if you're going to adapt it, you have to have such a clear-cut understanding of what makes that game interesting to people. Like, the people who
Yeah.
created the Castlevania animation, I just finished that recently, which is why I'm talking about it, very clearly knew what made Castlevania cool. Is Trevor Belmont with his big old whip, the
Finds chicken on the walls.
just weird, creepy gothic shit. It's not the writing being good. Nobody cares about the writing in Castlevania. It's just
Well, it's because
cool
it's so simple. Yeah.
monster mash gothic horror. And so what they did was they were like, okay, we're gonna take this basic plot of Trevor, a wizard, and Dracula's son all walk up to a castle, and they say, we're gonna fuck you up, Dracula. And they made it into an introspective piece about the futility of having goals in life and like your ambitions damaging the people around you when all that matters is to be human. They took it and made something deep out of
Great
it. A
show,
game
yeah.
about going whip.
I like it.
It's a great.
I-
I only watched season 1. I need to.
Season 2's great.
Season 2 is really
great. Season 3 comes out soon.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's
Comes out
exciting.
next month, actually.
Speaking of new things happening with old stuff, there's been a coup, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Let's
talk about
And it's in Ben's throat.
The cough took over Ben.
Yo, what up, Gainax?
That's a nice animation studio you have there. Would be a shame if someone took it over.
That would be a great thing if someone took it over. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
What up, Gainax?
Oh fuck, my clock fell over.
Yo, do you like Alicia
There you go.
Dragoon?
What are you talking about?
1992, Alicia Dragoon for the Sega Mega Drive.
Do you have a copy? What the fuck are you talking about, Ben?
I don't know. I just looked up Gainax, and the first thing I saw was Alicia Dragoon for the Sega Mega Drive.
Alright.
Developed by Game Arts and Gainax.
What
Fuck,
happened
I've never
was
heard of it.
Gainax was taken back over after being killed last year by the people
Gainax
who
video
used to have...
games.
People who
Gainax
used to
Gainax
fucking
video
have
games.
it.
Gainax fucking evaporated themselves.
And
Gainax made video games. They made Princess Maker.
getting
No,
the fucking
really.
rights back.
Getting the rights back.
Yeah,
Shinji.
should we do the like abridged version of like what
I just
happened?
did.
Yo, did you ever see the Evangelion N64 game?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
That
been on
game
my
is
dash for years.
absurd!
Yeah.
It's so cool. Okay, sorry. Anyways, continue.
Andrew, you get a minute.
Okay, a minute to explain what
Yeah,
happened
you have
with
a minute, and then I'm gonna
Hideaki Anno and
mute you.
Gainax.
I won't mute you.
Alright, Gainax was formed in the 80s. It's one of the few studios that do anime that was
Say it with
formed
more emotion.
that wasn't split off from any other bigger thing.
Say it with more emotion.
I'm sick. I don't have a terrible amount
And
of
I'll do it.
emotion to
Gainax,
kick
big
around.
name in
That's
anime,
right.
made stuff, dropped off in the 2000s, split up in the 2010s, got killed in the shell company in the late 2010s, got taken back over a couple days ago.
Well, there's like the only reason they like made shell companies of different Gainaxes
Was for the
is
rights, I
so
get it.
they could like
Yeah.
move money around when Hideaki Anno sued them. So he technically sued when he inevitably won. He wouldn't get any money, and that's why like Hideaki Anno left and like the Studio Trigger guys formed their own company because apparently being Gainax is just the people running them anyway. It's just they're not good at running their company, and apparently they've always been bad at that. But
So does
yeah.
that mean? Fuck. I forgot the name of it. What the third one of it? Fuck. What's it called?
panty and stocking with garter belt.
No. Well, I want that, but not the. That's the second season, dumbass.
What do you mean the
What
third
about
one?
it?
The third movie. Fuck.
Oh, Gunbuster.
Gunbuster. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Does that mean that third Gunbuster will be good?
I don't even
maybe.
know if it's still alive. If that project has
Well,
been
they'll
talked
just
about
resurrect
in,
it.
like,
So
almost a couple
I think it
years.
was like Hideaki Anno's studio and like parts of Trigger that took over Gainax. Like them and like
Okay.
Katakawa probably. I need to check the tweet again.
apparently King
I mean-
Records also has it too.
Hey,
Was
if
it
they
King
just
Records?
eat Gynax, that'd be cool.
So it's
Like
one
if
of those
Twi-
like I wonder whatever.
I almost
happened
just
to
said Twigger.
Twigger. Oh.
Oh no.
Twiggle. Hello?
Okay, here's the thread. The thread on Twitter. Gainax's new CEO is Yasuhiro
Are
Kamimura,
we
Groundworks
gonna watch
CEO, and
Gunbusters
Groundworks is a company set up by Kara to handle
Gunbusters?
Evangelion's copyright. So, there you go.
Great. So they put competent people at the helm.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Anyway, so the Oscars happened.
So excited for Gunbuster 3. Twee.
Anyway,
What are you talking about?
then.
I don't know, man.
Fuck.
This is
Anyway.
this is really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, super great to hear, actually.
Yeah. Parasite.
I think they
won.
still lost the Fooly Cooly, right? So,
Oh, I just started talking about the Oscars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
well, let's talk about the Oscars real quick. There's not much to talk
The
about.
Oscars. There's not much to talk about. It's,
Everyone who you would expected to win won.
Yeah, like
except the big upstart, which was actually a pretty good year for
Well-
like a non-American film. Oh no, I can't believe the non-American film won the American award.
really, Andrew. I figured that you would be one to.
They should have
enjoy
had that, like,
foreign
they
films.
should have had an American film like 1917 win.
Yeah,
Is
It's funny.
1917 Canadian?
No,
British.
it's British.
Oh, then I don't care.
I do love the like, we've already all seen the video of that one guy who gets dunked up and down the internet.
yeah, wearing a shirt that's too big for him.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's just,
I'm
he
just
has a bad
that was
take.
distracting to me
Okay.
Yeah.
because his sleeves
I-
are too. Anyway,
I'm not going to
So-
speculate on his personal life. I'll call out his shitty take. What?
look, I just never mind.
Parasite 1, it's fucking good.
It
There we go.
doesn't matter. The guy,
Like,
whatever.
it was funny.
Yes, it was funny
We laughed.
because he's not the only one, but he was the guy who got the most attention because
he
they're like, I
screamed the
can't believe
loudest about
Yeah.
it.
Parasite. I don't know what it is, and it won. And it's like, fucking
The
maybe
United
it won
States of
because it was
fucking
good.
America.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, except for that every single film professor that I know, anytime that I went into class, like in the Octobers, which is I think when it came out, was just like, yeah, man, fucking Parasite. Like, it's like the thing is that people often in like with me, but also with just like other films in general, like they tend to overhype the ever-loving Christ out of films.
Oh yeah.
I've noticed that, especially in film circles recently.
But
Oh my God,
the
are you kidding
main,
me?
but the
Yeah.
thing, the thing that I noticed with Parasite is that the people who I find that normally overhype films to like an insane degree, like I would come into class and like my super excitable film professor would be just like, so we'd ask him like, yo, did you see Parasite? And he's like, yeah, it's best film of the year. It's
There you
like,
go.
Nice.
it's there wasn't even a hint of doubt. It was the pure statement of fact that was the best film of the year.
I like that
made
we're
it
like the
very
Western,
difficult to not accept.
Western audiences are getting more knowledgeable of foreign markets. It makes me happy.
I don't know about that. A lot of people will still bitch and scream about having to watch subtitles in films.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Which
hilarious.
I've never gotten because it's just a
Because
stupid
we're all
argument.
fucking weebs. I don't know. What do you want?
I love how the sub versus dub argument took over that for like a week.
It was all over my
afterwards.
feed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I hate seeing this shit.
There are also on the
Oh,
flip
oh,
side
shit.
some people gatekeeping the no, these are my movies. I can't have other people watch them all of a sudden.
What the fuck?
They don't appreciate
What? That's such
the-
a. That's a thing that I understand the sentiment, like when Hero Academia or
Demon
Demon
Slayer
Slayer got
especially, yeah.
got stupidly popular. I
Right.
was just kind of like,
Yeah, there were a couple of people who were upset that like they can't
not
have
a
their
hidden
their,
thing.
their their unique secret. Now it's suddenly a
Yeah.
big success. It's like,
well, it's
oh,
because
wow,
it's
so
because I'm
unfortunate.
it's because I'm used to the relative niche status of most of my things.
We like being
like
hipsters
Devil May
about
Cry.
it. That's fine. Like,
but I'm also used to being justified in bitching about how niche they are, but when they become not niche, I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually pretty happy about that. There was
Yeah.
someone on my thread.
yeah, well,
who,
Andrew,
like-
you're sane, so shut up.
There was something on my Twitter that somehow ended up on like the first thing when I logged in the day after that said something like, I can't believe these uneducated people are gonna start watching Korean cinema. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, Korea booze, yeah.
Not even. I think it was a Korean person. We just like we can't have them like these are
I
our
mean,
films.
you can be Korean and be a Koreaboo.
Can you? Well, I guess you can.
Sure.
Right? You can
called
be American
nationalism.
and be
What?
obsessed
Where do
with
you think the
America.
term weeaboo comes from? Ah!
You okay?
What, did you try to hit a bug on the wall? What was that?
Yeah, I had him drivered.
But
There's a bug on the wall!
regardless, I
That's
think
my
this is
favorite
super
version
cool.
of that meme.
That
Yeah. I am a bit miffed that it took 92 years for a
Yeah.
foreign movie to win Best Picture, when in reality it should have taken like 4.
yeah.
Man, I don't even know what Seven Samurai is.
Anyway,
Oh, also,
Ben,
my whole theory
what?
last time where like, oh, a hand-drawn film could win,
Yes,
it
my
didn't
sweet
win.
baby boy.
But anyway.
alright.
I'm not. I don't like. People are like. I'm immediately. They're like, yeah. What do you expect? And it's like, fuck. I'm not that cynical. It's like Jesus.
Anyway, Ben,
Anyhow.
Atlus.
Let's talk about Atlus.
Have you ever
Had a dream.
heard of a company more tone deaf?
Please explain this to me.
It's
Atlus
not
is
that
its own
hard to
brand.
explain. I don't know. Atlas is usually a controversial company, usually because of what they tend to include in their games. Although recently they've been getting more lax about it, and I know people are bitching about just like, oh, they're removing the joke about the two ass hunters from Persona 5 is like because it's a homophobic joke. I personally didn't find it homophobic. That being said, it's like the people who call that censorship are retarded.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, if
censorship.
it's the one
Censorship
joke
is-
in like what an 80-hour game,
Yeah,
it's not
and
gonna
it's
break
like-
the experience.
like,
To be fair, that complaint is also invalidated when you're complaining about one joke in a 100-hour game.
yeah.
I didn't see
but-
people complaining about it.
I did.
Okay.
let's leave it at that. But it's like it's something that is so completely irrelevant that the decision to keep it or remove it literally speaks to nothing. It garners nothing. It changes nothing.
Yeah.
If they decided that in Persona 4 Golden, changing Kanji's character to be less effeminate and be like a completely full-on masculine character,
Oh, you should.
it would
know this.
ruin the
Yeah, it
character,
didn't ruin the
and they
character.
would be because they're like, oh, we're afraid of him looking like he's gay, which I've seen some interesting debates on whether or not he actually is. Whatever.
I mean, I think I said this in discussion off podcast. I said I think it's written with enough flexibility that either take is relatively valid.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it'll if the writing still hits home for you, depending on what culture you live in, then whatever. But
I mean, we just call that good writing.
yeah.
Yes.
But like the major thing with Atlus is that they generally tend to make some pretty raunchy stuff, some stuff that's usually controversial. I mean, do you know anything about the first boss of Persona 5?
No.
Nope.
Okay, the people that do know anything about the first boss in Persona 5 will know what I'm talking about, is that it's dark. It's dark! And that they have the tendency to get really fucked up dark, and sometimes they don't commit all the way, which can leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
Well, does it
That
come off as
being
like?
said-
Does it come off as
Huh?
like being edgy or something?
If
If it like doesn't commit all the way, does it?
No,
is it
actually,
like,
I don't think
oh,
I've
you
ever
just wanted to
seen-
shock people.
No, it's just dark undertones, if anything.
Yeah, it's
I don't know the
usually,
boss, so I was just asking.
think of like, well, no, think of like sorry, something's are falling off of my desk. So think of it like you remember Culprit? You remember Culprit
Yeah.
in Persona 4? We're not saying their name.
Yeah.
Because
Spoilers.
because spoilers. But the thing with Culprit is that, like, that character, you know what they act like. They should be stupidly edgy, but they're written so well that they're not.
Yeah.
Like, they're edgy, but they're edgy good. Not edgy bad. Like, so it does leave an interesting, like, dilemma where you're like, is this good or not? Like, is it to taste or not? But it's definitely not edgy. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. But anyways, the whole thing about tone deafness is that it's very interesting that Atlus was listening and decided, you know, it probably would be the best thing to do to remove this, let's just say, tasteless joke from our game where you can fuck a teacher.
That's right. I forgot about that.
They did do that, didn't they?
played
Channeling
it.
Persona 3.
Oh, it's not just you can fuck a teacher, it's that you can literally start a harem with every single female character that has a confident link.
That's
Oh, wait,
Atlus,
did I spoil that plot line from Persona 3?
What plotline?
Maya?
No, I don't think you did.
No.
Okay.
But anyways, the way that it all kind of shakes down is it's interesting that they were listening well enough to remove that, and yet not listening well enough where in an interview they said, "Hey guys, if you want Persona 5 on the Switch, do you guys want Persona 5 on the Switch? Do you?"
All you have to do is ask us.
Well, all you gotta do is ask us.
Is that what they
man.
did?
That's-
Actually?
And
Yeah.
that's literally
Oh
the
my God,
quote.
really?
If fans want Persona 5 on the Switch, all they have to do is they have to ask for it. And every single motherfucker like just goes, "Excuse me. What?"
Since the minute go, people have been asking. Like,
Since
Oh my God.
Since the Switch was first announced, people have wanted it.
Oh my God.
Since the goddamn fucking since P5S was announced, the biggest thing that everyone was hyped for was Persona on the Switch. When Joker came on the Switch, everyone was like, "Yo, yo, 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 put that shit on the fucking Switch." Nah.
Oh. Yeah, it sounds like tone deaf.
do you think
company
all
talk.
of the computers in the Atlus building are like word filtered on the internet for like like they filtered out the word Switch and Nintendo?
I don't know, man, but all I can say is if we got Wonderful 101, if we got Wonderful 101 ported to the Switch, which we did, it's real.
Yeah, that
Where's
used to
it
be a
sitting at right
joke.
now?
Like,
Yeah.
That was the joke for the longest time. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think there's
like,
anything left to play on the Wii U. No.
No, nothing. Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's it.
Well, give it time.
That's
it'll
the
be
last
off.
one.
Oh, it's sitting at a clean 2.2 million.
Holy shit.
Damn. How much did
impressive.
they ask for?
Huh?
How much did they ask for?
About 50,000.
Okay.
Which means, by the way, that means that this version, this Kickstarter has surpassed the entire sales history of the Wonderful 101 on the Wii U.
Shit.
That just goes to show how bad a failure the Wii U was.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
It was such a disaster.
It is a shit console.
But it's like, if we can get the Wonderful 101 on Switch, then I don't think it's impossible for us to get the a Persona 5
Like,
Twitch thingy. So
I think
Switch
I think the only game left on the Wii U that will be stuck on there is that Star Fox game they made.
Oh, Star Fox Zero.
Oh right, Platinum
Yeah.
made that bad Star Fox game. Yeah. Well,
no one
Which,
cares
again,
about
is another
that one.
remake of
It's
the
fine.
first.
no one cares
Star
about
Fox.
that one.
Yeah.
Fucking what Star Fox game? I wonder when
No
Nintendo will get back to that
one
franchise.
cares.
They can't
No
stop
one
remaking the
cares.
first game for some reason.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they figured out that there's not a lot of story to tell in Star
Maybe
Fox.
they figured out that Star Fox's shooting plane game, man. They should just make Star Fox.
that one
just
on the GameCube was good.
you know what I think would actually probably be their best move to evolve the game?
How so?
Give Star Fox to the Ace Combat people.
I've never played Ace Combat.
Okay, I have,
never
and
played it
Ace Combat is. I know. This is getting to be like my like a Dark Souls game phrase, but it's like, I would say that the easiest comparison would be it's like a Platinum game for flying.
Well, when I heard Platinum was gonna get to make a Star Fox game, I was thinking this is gonna be amazing. It'll be the best Star Fox.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's just like,
And
It
the
sure
game
is a
came
shame
out.
it wasn't.
yeah.
Well, they don't know how to do flight control. Like, the only time that they've ever done flight controls is in Bayonetta, and even then it's really just glorified 3D ground controls.
Yeah.
It's in Bayonetta 2 is that. There was one segment in Bayonetta 1 where you're riding a missile, and then it becomes a shoot 'em up, and it's passable. It's not horrible, it's passable. It's fine.
It's just a shame how it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow.
But yeah.
I guess the point is,
Meh.
Atlus, what the fuck?
Just have to ask them.
Yeah. But the thing is, all's forgiven because Catherine Full Body Edition just got rated for the Switch.
Oh, did it?
Fuck yeah, son. I've been waiting to play that game for ages. And because I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the PC version when it comes out. But it's not full body.
Really?
They didn't port full body, they ported the original version to PC. They haven't put full body on the PC.
That's so weird.
Bizarre choice.
They did that. They ported it to PC, and then full body came out a month later.
Okay.
It's like, are you fucking serious?
Who's the head of Atlus making these decisions?
It's so bad. It's so awful.
So what's
Anyway.
what's Anthem about? Why is Anthem on there?
I mean, I don't think
Anthem
anyone
is
really knows what Anthem is about, but apparently it's getting reworked.
This is also interesting to me because you know what my favorite game to play currently is.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's funny that we see a game get released in a horrible state.
Yeah. Oh.
And then the devs are like, all right, we'll fix it. And then it's like, hey, Final Fantasy Realm Reborn, perfect. It's a really solid remake, and then it slowly becomes a perfect game. Not a perfect game, but a really solid
great
game.
game. Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting thing. What if they did that to Anthem?
That'd be
nice.
One hell of a comeback.
That would be one hell of a comeback. Like, I don't think they'll be able to make the story better because it's got, Casey Hudson is still on the team. But,
I mean, no one played Anthem for the story.
Well,
I guess some.
Or if they did, if they did, they stopped caring. Like, if they did, they stopped caring. Like,
but it's like, do you know how fucked up that sounds to me?
Right.
I mean, because this is BioWare.
Because it's BioWare. Yeah. These guys used to be the kings of writing.
It's a shame.
Sucks, man.
But
I've seen how awful the dialogue is as well.
When you get ordered to make it unmemeable, you're just fucked. You know.
Unmemeable.
Make this game unmemeable. It's like, sir, don't you know that memes will literally increase sales revenue by 1 billion-fold? Unmemeable.
We're gonna take ourselves seriously now.
We want you to take this game seriously.
Dumb.
We want to take this game about getting in a giant robot suit and shooting.
Yeah, having
shit.
these big, meaningful conversations with these bulky ass robots.
Bro.
It's fucking serious, man.
If Anthem gets Dalamud dropped on it, and the whole Bahamut thing happens,
I'd be here for it.
I mean, that would be incredible. If it actually managed to improve, if they not only managed to make Anthem a good game, but make it a great one, that'd be fantastic.
What a redemption arc.
And do you know how much faith I have in that happening?
At least 6 out of 10.
Fucking 0! They're gonna fuck it up horribly, and I would be so happy to be proven wrong.
Alright. Cool. Speaking of things that I'm not sure if they're gonna fuck it up or not, this Life Alyx game.
Yeah.
Looks pretty neat.
Did you both watch that trailer?
Yeah, I watched
did, and it looked interesting.
I thought it was
by the way,
cool.
I remember the name of the guy. It's G-Man. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, I don't know how to feel about VR right now.
I need to.
I've never tried it,
VR.
honestly.
I know there's a VR set up in my library at university.
Yeah.
It always just seemed like a fad to me, but it's not gone away yet.
No.
So.
It's not gone away yet, but because I've played VR for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, as it stands right now, with the controllers as they are in this very moment, I think we've pushed VR about as far as it can go.
Really?
I wouldn't.
So do you
say
think
that,
do you think
but,
Alyx might be like the apotheosis of what we have? Right now?
Well, because here's the thing. So for instance, here's one of the immediate limitations of VR. You're always in first person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the
Because
gimmick.
that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
but
the
it's
technology
like
can do anything
the-
else without reinventing itself.
But here's my thing though, is that okay, so you're always in first person, you will always have mostly disembodied hands to
Yeah.
control. Which means that the game's controls, half of which are going to be on the face buttons of the controllers, and the other half will be based on what you physically can do.
Yeah.
And what you physically can do is really limiting.
Yeah.
You can't do any sort of abstraction.
It's that
So-
same problem that
because-
Ready Player One had, where there's like a woman like VR stripper dancing, but there are also people wearing the VR headset like with a controller in their arms or hands rather. So it's like, what is
the shoulder?
What?
in Ready Player One? There's this conflict of
okay.
like,
Well,
why-
here's the thing. You're talking about, because that in Ready Player One, that's VR. That's like it's set up to be like Sword Art Online style.
right? But
Which that comes with its own set of problems, because how do you control the game? Are you
Exactly.
controlling it with your brain? So you have to make a single concerted thought to do something in the game. Do you fucking realize how impossible it is for the human brain to go? Because it's the problem with, like, you know how in like you when I have like a lucid dream or something like that, the moment I think of something, it's happening in the dream, which is the problem of like. So if you're doing like a boss fight and you're like, I'm gonna hit it with a fireball. Wait, no, I should hit it with.
I
Oh
can
shit, I
fly.
just did fireball already.
Yeah.
So it's like, that shit's dumb.
Yes.
So in order to play a game, you need a controller.
Right.
And in order for a game to be fun, there has to be a set number of limitations. One of the most fun games I've played in VR was like Robo Recall, which was this first-person shooter that had a lot of interesting mechanics, like how you could grab robots and pull them apart limb from limb, and then like bash them with like their own arms or whatever. Or if you wanted to reload a gun, you could reload it normally, or you could yeet your gun at the robot, it would bounce off the robot and reload, and you could catch it out of midair and have a reloaded gun.
Right.
And that was cool. But then...
It makes me think of that Super Hot VR.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I played Super Hot VR.
How's that?
It's good right up until it isn't. It's fun and it's interesting, and you're like, time only moves when you move. It's like, wow, that's really fucking cool. Right up until you figure out how the game works, and then the game gets kind of boring. And to be fair, that's basically the same thing with like Super Hot. It's a really cool concept, but then the game becomes over reliant on it, and it doesn't actually evolve in any way. The game doesn't become anything more than time only moves when you move. Events might change, but your reaction to them is always move in a direction or shoot something. And when it doesn't feel as good to do that as in something like Doom, or as it isn't as challenging to do that as in something like Doom, 2016 speaking,
Doom 1.
then then the game becomes disinteresting to play, and it was the same in Super Hot VR. Like, the second I figured out that any knife in Super Hot VR, I picked up a knife, and if you just hold it in front of a bullet, the bullet will be cut in half and become useless. And so any bullet that's fired at you. And so what I did, any time that I had a knife, I was invincible. Because you can move your arm way faster than the time movement thing. Because the game's like, again, time only moves when you move, but you move your arm, like, if you're just moving your arm and not moving your head or your other arm, time is still moving really slowly. So you're essentially moving your arm at the speed of sound, and you can cut all of the bullets out of midair.
Huh.
And so it's like a literal shotgun blast if you're good enough, and it requires a certain amount of skill, but if you're good enough, and again, I only played this game for like an hour, I got good enough to cut an entire shotgun blast into midair, and the game started to get kind of dull. Because at any point, if I just had a knife, it's just like, alright, I'm winning. Like, they can't kill me. I would literally get to a point where I had run out of bullets in all of the guns available to me, and I wasn't going to throw away my knife because I would lose, and there was one enemy way on the other side of the room that was just running back and forth shooting me. I was like, oh. Okay. Because I can't move, because in Super Hot VR, you're stapled to the ground.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well then, what the fuck? And that's, so you have to develop things like locomotion.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they've solved locomotion for games is you have joysticks.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
That
about that.
sucks.
Yeah, it's super disorienting,
It
wasn't it?
sucks.
It looks very unfun. Like, if you've seen any of the LA
like,
Noire VR stuff, it's like broken.
If you start it, if you've never done it before and you start moving using a joystick in VR, you will want to vomit. It doesn't matter, and eventually that feeling will go away once you get used to it, but it feels fucking weird.
I assume because you're making the world move instead of like yourself, essentially, because you don't have that separation of like a screen in front of you.
Yeah, it makes it feel like you're a finger scrolling a phone.
Ew.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. It's fucked. And so the solution that they had for it, so in a game like Beat Saber or Super Hot, their solution is to just staple you to the floor.
Yeah.
It works great for Beat Saber, it sucks for Super Hot. So it's okay. It's based on the game. So you can say that it generally works for one thing or works for another, but then they came up with another locomotion solution that is the best locomotion solution.
What is it?
They came up with two. One of which is good, the other one is the best. The one that's good is the Gorn solution, and it's what I think.
Oh yeah.
It's what I think. Fucking Life Alyx is gonna do, where you essentially swing your arms left to right, and that makes you walk.
What the fuck?
That's yeah. Because it's imitating walking enough, and because it's essentially like dragging yourself along using your own arms. It kind of works,
it's
but
like
it's
pretending to shuffle along a
imprecise
green
right now.
screen. Essentially.
Yeah.
But the screen is your head.
Yeah. Because like with Gorn, it feels like you're just shuffling around. Like it's not precise, but that's a game that looks completely sloppy in its own right, so it makes sense for that.
Right. They could just drive that up like, well, that's the intention.
The absolute best solution is to make locomotion skill-based, where you can teleport. So you point your controller...
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Robo Recall, the game I was talking about earlier, does that, and it makes it so that you point your controller. So what you do is you hold a joystick, and it extends a line out from your controller, and by moving the joystick around, basically you see like the line has an arc, and where it lands on the floor, there's a little circle with an arrow, and that's the direction that you will end up when you have finished teleporting, and you can change that arrow by moving the joystick.
Nice.
So while it's a little complex to explain. You kind of would have to like get used to it to yourself, but that is by far the best way to do locomotion. But that is it. That's it. That's the best way. There's no better way.
Yeah.
So the problem becomes, well, then how do you have a multiplayer game?
Yeah.
How do you have any... So suddenly every single game that is designed for VR, if you want the locomotion to feel good, you have to have it be a teleportation system, which means that every single level is by and large going to feel the same. Because it has to adapt to you teleporting.
Right.
And there are games that have just said, fuck it, we're gonna use the motion stick controls and just develop it like a normal shooter, and it works for them just fine. But then you also have that problem of you can't have them move too fast, so now suddenly locomotion becomes a chore. Because it's like, if you're moving too fast, you're gonna feel sick.
Yeah,
like that was
this
the
weird balancing act that has to be played.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that this Half-Life game will basically be like as far as you can push this issue because of how much shit they're throwing at you.
Yeah.
If Half-Life Alyx doesn't do something phenomenal, and the thing that, because it like it's a very technically impressive like looking game, like it's really cool to look at. And it had a really cool part in that opening where you have the gun and she's like searching through the shelves trying to find a shotgun shell loaded in and then just point it and shoot. It's a very John Wick style moment.
Yeah.
You remember in 3?
Yeah.
That scene's great. The problem is that you've kind of fucked up movement. And so it makes me think like, well, we'll never get a game like Devil May Cry in VR.
If we did, we'd have to reinvent itself.
No, I would just be sick.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because it's like, well, because then you'll never be able to move like Dante.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah.
And you'll never like, you won't be able to do like high times and shit. So character action games are just out. Most melee combat in VR, they've gotten close to solving the problem by basically having weapons move slower than you do. So
Really?
it feels like they have more weight.
oh, like a weight, yeah.
Yeah, so it like lags behind your motion. So it does kind of help with the illusion that you're actually holding a really heavy object. But all fights eventually just devolve into
One or two
slap
actions,
fests.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just going like,
Just a back and forth.
yeah, get away. Like,
I don't know. VR is like, I used to be really into the idea as a child, but seeing how much trouble games developers have had in the last few years, just getting the thing off the ground. Unless there's a big revolution.
Yeah, unless it just reinvents itself to a point.
which is why Half-Life Alyx is so interesting to me, because I feel like one of the biggest complaints about VR is that most of the games feel like tech demos. They don't feel like full games. And unless you have money to burn, because I know I was talking about this, how I was like, earlier this year I was thinking, man, I should really get a VR setup. And now that I'm kind of sitting back on it and have thought about it, it's like, I don't think it's worth it yet. Because VR setups are more expensive than most game consoles. And it's like, do I really want that if I'm not going to be using... if, like, the games I'm going to be using it for are generally repetitive? The only game that really does justify a VR setup is Beat Saber.
Yeah, because you can do basically any song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the
Like,
game you get.
It's the gimmick, yeah. And they have to
Yeah.
make it flexible, or else you're not gonna have a fun time.
So the question is, what else are we going to be able to do with it? For my purposes, it looks like Half-Life Alyx might be the pinnacle of the best that a game of that type can be. But the problem that I'm finding is that games in VR don't have genres. They're just VR games.
Yeah, you see it like the tags being like adventure VR, you know? It's very weird.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this shakes out in the next
Eventually.
few years.
Yeah.
It's an interesting problem that I don't believe they've solved yet.
Oh, they won't solve it for a long fucking time.
Yeah, if they ever do.
Exactly. But I guess we're done.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Alright. Well,
where
hey,
where
listen,
can they
folks.
find us?
You can find us on... We don't have social media yet, do we?
You can find us eventually. We're on iTunes.
You can find us. You can
feels
find
good to
me
say.
by looking outside my goddamn apartment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Are you looking through Ben's window?
Yeah, just find me. Just rappel down the roof. People have done it before to watch my windows. It's great.
It's like Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, seriously, it was actually like that. It was terrifying. And it also totally means that the guy who was washing my windows totally saw my dick.
Probably.
It's probably not
100%.
the first one he's had to see. Like, let's be honest.
No, totally not, but it's just like...
Or it could have been. We don't know.
No, he 100%
Maybe
saw
they
my
were
dick.
new.
Not a
Good
good
job.
feeling, but
No.
you know.
No.
In other
Alright.
news, Disney's
Have a nice
first
night, everyone.
quote-unquote openly gay character is a cop.